So hi, I'm Scott Grove from Imagine Grove, and I have the honor of Alf Sharp came to visit, and I thought we'd give him a little interview. So he's been nice enough to stop by. We're 2 drinks in and dinner's on the stove, so we're gonna do a little quick interview and see how this goes. So thanks, Alf, for coming.
Glad to be here, Scott.
It's great to see you. So
glad to be here, Scott.
Tell me about how you got into woodworking. I mean, you know, we all have our stories, and I'm sure yours is just as good as mine. So,
well, Scott, I just sort of stumbled backwards into it. I dropped out of law school, and not knowing what I was going to do, but just that I did not want to be a lawyer.
Really?
And bumped around for a couple of years doing various things, nothing of any consequence. Joined a carpentry crew.
Okay.
Just to make some money,
right,
you know.
Right, we've all done that.
But I mean, everything just instantly clicked.
It
was wonderful. It clicked.
It
and
clicked.
It was click. And so before long, I was doing the interior trim and the built-in cabinets.
Yeah.
And
Bookshelves.
all of that, bookshelves. And at that point, you look at furniture in a new light. You say, "Oh my goodness, that's a piece of wood. How did they do that?"
Right. Wow.
So I determined at that point that I wanted to be a furniture maker. It took me a few years to get to the point where I could call myself a bona fide furniture maker.
Bona fide, that's a southern term,
But,
right?
Yeah, it's
bona fide.
Latin.
It's Latin?
It's Latin.
Is it Latin?
It is. It's Latin.
What's it mean?
Good faith.
Good faith? See? We learn something new every day. Okay, so you started making furniture.
So I built a shop. I would take whatever kind of woodwork came down the road.
Never say no.
I made a playground slide. Yeah. I did all kinds of kitchens and vanities.
Right.
And the occasional piece of furniture. Pieces of which I'm not especially proud today, but at the time I sold
paid the bills.
I sold them big.
Money was green.
You know, I can do that as well as anybody. In order to pay the bills, I took on some production work.
Okay.
And that production work turned into a business with 25 employees.
Wow, same. Yeah, I had 28 at one point. And that was nuts. Was that totally
I hated it.
Crazy. It's totally crazy.
I hated every minute. I mean, the reason I got into this in the first place was because I didn't want to be a white-collar worker.
Sure.
But all I was behind the desk, on the phone, putting out fires.
I'm a woodworker.
handling labor issues.
I have the same story, employees, oh boy.
And I hated it. I sold that sucker the first chance I got.
Okay.
And determined to never have more than 2 employees again.
Good for you.
But part of what was frustrating was that during that period of time, while I had the factory, occasionally a really juicy commission would come my way as a result of stuff that I had already put out there.
Right.
And I was so frustrated. I tried to engineer it so that I could do those commissions as well and run the factory.
Yeah.
And here I was starting to finally get the kind of commissions that a guy could earn a living off of.
Sure. Yeah.
Really fine commissions.
Yeah.
So I did. I sold the business, stacked up all the commissions I could, and just launched into the little studio shop.
Right. Great. Wow. But how'd you get into this? So you're known for all the handwork and the reproduction, I guess. Traditional.
Traditional
What do you
is
call
better
it?
than reproduction. Well, I do reproductions.
Yeah.
But so much of what I'm doing is not really a reproduction. It's
traditional
design.
Sure.
It's just traditional design. It's a new piece of furniture.
Yeah.
It's not a reproduction of anything that's been made.
Sure. And how do you learn those proportions? Did you just research,
just
self-taught like me? You just go for it.
Just go for it. Actually, when I started, I imagined that I was going to be a contemporary furniture maker.
No kidding.
But if in the 70s, if you wanted to make a living as a furniture maker in the South, you made traditional furniture.
Sure.
There was no
They
market.
aren't contemporary down there.
Well, they do now.
No, what's the southern eclectic?
Yeah. And so I had to learn traditional furniture
Sure.
just to keep my shop open.
Right, right.
Well, in learning it, I fell in love with it as well.
Sure,
I mean, I admire what was done in the 17th and 18th centuries in America and Europe hugely. I still love contemporary
Are you
work.
self-taught, or did you take any courses?
No, I never took any courses.
Got all your fingers?
But
still?
I've got.
Look at the size of your hands. Look at it. Oh my God. Look at that. Oh wow. So you just taught yourself and just kept doing it.
Just kept doing it.
And for marketing, so how do you market yourself? Do you
Gee, that's the hardest. That's the hardest part.
word of mouth, pretty much?
It's pretty much word of mouth. For years, I would bird dog every fancy house that was being built. I would go.
Okay, what's bird dog mean? What's that southern? What's it?
It means that you're looking for any way you can possibly get in.
Okay.
So I would approach the general contractor. I would ask, who is the designer?
Right.
I'd approach the designer and say, here's what I do.
And sure, that's a good way, because a lot of my commissions, some of my best commissions, because they're not one-time commissions. Once you get in with the designer,
yeah, exactly.
then you get that job, and then you might get another job at another client. And designers don't take 50% like galleries do, so they may take a cut or may not even take a cut, and they're a great resource for work. So it's interesting they have similar paths.
So that's what I did for a long time. One time I found myself, for the first time I found myself with about a 2-year waiting list.
Good for you.
And decided, okay, I don't need to do anything else.
Right.
I've made it. You know, I'll survive on rotating word of mouth.
Sure.
I won't need to do any more efforts at marketing.
Right.
About a year and 3/4 later, I don't have any work.
And you see that for me, you see that wall coming.
I can see the wall.
You're so busy, you have no time to market, but the wall is coming and you're going to hit it.
The wall is coming and I'm going to hit it. So I learned at that point that you have to do something.
Yeah.
You have to fill the pipeline with some kind of marketing activity.
Right.
It may not even, the marketing activity that you do may not result in the job that you get, but somehow or another you keep putting your name. You keep putting your name.
Keep throwing it out there. Fantastic.
So I mean, I'm not a clever marketer by any means. I'm just stubborn.
Right. Stubborn's good. Okay, so let's see. So what's your favorite power tool?
My favorite power tool has to be the lathe.
The lathe. Favorite hand tool?
Spoke shave.
Spoke shave. Favorite species of wood to work with?
My 2 favorite woods, from appearance standpoint, are rosewood and tiger maple.
Okay.
But both of those are hard to work with.
Sure.
My favorite wood to work with
Right.
is a nice piece of mahogany.
Sure.
Genuine
mahogany. Yeah, that's getting hard to find.
A nice piece of genuine mahogany is, and it's mighty pretty when it's done.
Who's your? Do you have an inspiration? Your other woodworkers that inspire you?
I do. In fact, one of them is right up here around you, Richard Scott Newman.
Oh yeah.
Timothy Philbrick inspires me.
Okay.
Actually, I could name dozens.
Sure.
Gary Knox Bennett. He and I are so far, we're poles apart
But
as far as what we do.
Yeah.
But we really admire one another,
Yeah.
and his inventiveness and his constant creativeness is just bubbling out of him all the time. It's just.
Well, I have some of his work in my house, so
Do you?
yeah, it's in our collection.
Okay.
We'll take a look at that. So.
I admire him. I admire Silas Kopf.
Yeah, Silas.
And I could go on for. I could name those names.
So, and your website? What's your website name?
It's alfredsharp.com.
alfredsharp.com. Check out his work. Well, great. Well, thanks. I think our drinks are getting a little warm.
A little watery.
So yeah, we'll have to take care of that.
Cheers. Cheers to you.
Cheers. Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. So visit Alf Sharp's website.
Look at that.
Look at that. Look at that. Go. We'll see you next time. Thanks again.
Bye. 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 Bye.